Hey everybody out there, how's it going today? Or tonight, whatever it is, wherever you are. Just thought I'd let you guys in on another tobacco tasting for me. This is a new one, Great Dane. And I've got the Peter Stokkebye, what do they call this? The Highland Whiskey. And so, again, it's smoking pretty good. So far, I'm not an aromatic guy just because I'm not getting that flavor out of them. It smells good in the bag. But, you know, again, I don't mind it. I'm enjoying it. So, but it's another chance to smoke and another chance to try something new. So I'm not doing a whole lot this afternoon, Saturday afternoon. Let me turn that off. I brought the Highland Whiskey, I brought the vanilla custard, and I brought the plum cake out. And I'll tell you, on that last video where I did the plum cake, I think I should have either kept the video running or do another, you know, addition to it. Because the more I got into that plum cake, the more I really started liking it. And I'll tell you, before long, I was at the bottom of the bowl. It's like it started to go out, and I try to relight, and it's like I'm just not getting anything out, so I started digging around, dumping the ash out, and I'm at the end of the bowl already. So that was pretty good. I really did enjoy that plum cake. And so, anyway, not a whole lot going on today. Just thought I'd share a video with you, share a bowl with you if you're having one. Again, I can't tell you, every time I do a video or make a comment or something, I get just tons of replies and, you know, suggestions and, you know, things like that. And I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the help you've given me. I wish I would have had this much help when I started out cigars years ago. I remember when I first decided I was going to smoke a cigar. It's like, and again, I think I've told you this before. I don't know why. I just, you know, I think that's something I want to do. I've smoked cigarettes in the past, but I never was a smoker. You know, a pack every 5 years maybe, something like that. So I just never was a smoker. And one day I decided, I think I'm going to smoke cigars. So I went to this cigar shop. A local cigar shop, and I talked to the guy in there, told him I'd never ever had a cigar before. And I don't know whether this was, sure, I'm hoping this wasn't the cigar shop owner. I never did go back to that cigar shop. He just wasn't very helpful, didn't seem to be that knowledgeable, told me, and he just went and got a Gurkha. And I've never, even years later, I'm still not a big fan of any of the Gurkhas I've had. I've heard the Gurkha Ghost is supposed to be pretty good, but I just don't get Gurkhas because I'm, you know, I'm not a big fan of them. And so he got me this Gurkha, got me a little cheap cutter, cheap lighter, and it's like, I don't know about this. So then I went into another shop. And this guy was incredibly knowledgeable. New cigars inside and out. And he gave me 2 or 3 to try. And I remember he recommended like a Oliva Connecticut Reserve, which is still a very, if you want a Connecticut shade, still to this day a very good cigar. And one of my favorite Connecticut's he recommended was an Ashton Classic 898. And I love that Ashton 898. And so far I've loved all the Ashton cigars I've ever had, and most of the Olivas I've had. But Ashton, you know, at least I cannot make them a regular smoke because their cheap cigars are 10, 12 bucks. Some of their really nice premium ones would be 15 bucks, kind of like the Padron Anniversary Series should be $25 for a cigar. And I just, you know, special occasion, I do like those. So that guy was a big help to me. So I always kept going back to him. And I actually still used that cigar shop it was down in Dallas until we moved back up here. So I used him for several years because just he was so helpful. And you guys have been more than helpful. Again, like I said, I wish I would have had some of this help when I was starting out cigars. So I'm still learning here. And this Highland whiskey, this Peter Stokkebye Highland Whiskey, it's a little bit more, it seems to me a little bit more robust than the BCA and the 1Q I had. And so, anyway, we've got, I have a nephew who turned 5 today. So we're going to run over to my sister and brother-in-law's house tomorrow, Sunday afternoon. We'll do a little birthday party for him. And then my daughter turned 20 this last Wednesday. And her favorite restaurant in the entire world is Genghis Grill. She loves to go in and fill that bowl up, see how high she can stack a bowl. And she's got it down to an art now where she can stack that bowl full. When they cook it and bring it out, they've got to bring it out in 2 bowls. So she'll go in there, fill a bowl, and then make, she'll have, a meal for the next 2 to 3 days. So after we go to the birthday party, all of us then are going from there, and we'll go out to Genghis Grill and we'll have dinner and kind of celebrate her birthday. And so every year when I come back from hunting, I always make some deer jerky. And of course everybody wants deer jerky. So I gave my sister and my brother-in-law some, and my nephew, who would have been 4 at the time last year. And I like to add when I do deer jerky, I'll start out with a seasoning mix, like High Mountain, pepper seasoning mix, and then I add in my own pepper and own cayenne and start doctoring it up myself. Well, I like to add a lot of the coarse ground pepper and some cayenne in there. Well, he got a hold of some of this, and he loved it. He called them hot sticks. He wanted some more of those hot sticks. And so I still had about 10 pounds of deer meat in the freezer. I pulled that out this week, let it thaw out. I seasoned it up, and I make most of my jerky out of ground deer meat, which I'll tell you about that in a minute. But I've got a meat mixer. Dump it all in, dump your seasonings in, crank it, mix it all up. That way it gets all even and spread throughout there, and that works pretty good. And so I made a batch yesterday, and then I can put my dehydrator. I can do about 7 to 8 pounds at a time. I've got another dehydrator. I just don't like getting both dehydrators out and getting them working. I use these square dehydrators with the trays that slide in and out, kind of like an oven. That way you got your fan in the back blowing across it evenly, so I'm not rotating trays, those that have the fan coming up the middle and you got to every hour rotate a tray or something. And so I put the rest of that in this morning. I'll mix it up with all my seasonings, then I'll let it set for 24 hours, and then I'll pull it out and start, putting it on trays and making my jerky. So I figure tomorrow, I got a birthday present for him. I'll take him. Now these aren't going to be near as hot because I did taste some of the ones that I made yesterday. And so I took some that I made today when I put those on the tray, and then I just kind of shake a little cayenne pepper on top of them. It doesn't work the same as when you mix it all in. It works okay, and it will heat it up, but it's just not the same. So I'll take him some of those. I think he'll like that for a birthday present. I don't know how many of us. Of course, I would love getting jerky for a birthday or a Christmas present, so I think he'll like it. Because after we run out last year and I hadn't made any more, he kept asking, "Where's it? You gonna make some more hot sticks? I want some more hot sticks." So I got a batch done yesterday and then another batch done that's going right now. I typically run it 5.5, 6.5 hours, somewhere right in there. And so what we do when we get our deer, when we're processing our deer, after we, we'll gut it and skin it, let it hang, and then we'll cut roast, and we'll cut the backstrap steaks out of it. And of course, sometimes our butchering is not the best, and so sometimes we have some small, tiny roasts left over. We'll cut those up into, steaks, make butterfly steaks or something out of them. And then we'll grind everything else. Any other thing, and if it's not big enough to make a roast or a steak out of, we'll grind it. And that way we can use most of the meat we can get on. I mean, we will have a bony carcass left. So a lot of times, the leg meat, a lot of times people won't use that. They just throw it away. Not us. We use all we can get off of there. And so what we do is we grind it. Got a big commercial grinder that we grind with. And then, now we used to have a guy, we used to know this butcher, and every year he knew we'd go hunting, so he would start saving us pork fat. And so if we were going to use some of the ground in like chili or, make, deer burger or something like it, we would grind roughly 30% pork fat in there. And then we would use that for, again, chili or stuff like that. Well, this guy went out of business, so when we haven't found a new supplier for pork where we can get free pork fat. We could buy it, but I don't want to buy it. I mean, it's just being thrown away everywhere. You know it is. And so when we grind it, I like to bag it, and typically I'll bag in about 10-pound baggies. We've got a big commercial vacuum sealer, so we'll seal it in 10-pound baggies. And no, I do 5-pound bags. I do 5-pound bags because I did 2 bags, and that's 10 pounds. So anyway, and then I got, like, if you look at, Cabela's or something, I got one of those big stainless steel, looks like a caulking gun. And you put like a little funnel on top, and you pack your ground meat in there. And then it's got a nozzle. You can do like Slim Jims. You can do a wide strip of jerky. You can do 2 at a time, little thinner strips of jerky. So I'll just squeeze that out onto the tray, throw it in the dehydrator. And a lot of people seem to like that because you're not really jerking on a piece of jerky. You can bite it off, and it's still dry, still tastes like jerky. So that's what we do. And what bugs me is a lot of time, and of course we'll cut some of it up into stew meat. We'll do probably, 10, 20 pounds of stew meat every year. And then what bugs me is a lot of time people, I want some deer meat. I want some deer meat. So, we'll get them a nice, big, perfectly looking roast. And then you go over there and they're cutting it up into stew meat, or they're, making jerky out of it or whatever. It's like, I've got meat for that. I got you a roast so you can cook a roast. So I love a deer roast that's done good. So anyway, I see I'm already at over the 14-minute mark right now, just sitting here chatting. I'm going to let you guys go. Again, the cob with I got to look at it so I can remember the Peter Stokkebye Highland Whiskey. It's very good. I'm liking this. I was talking to Mike, and I've decided I'm going to dedicate this to be my aromatic pipe here. And I make little, I don't even see that writing down there. I figure until I learn this, I'm going to write some of the names of the pipes down there. I think I'll write arrow on this pipe or something, so I know that this is going to be my aromatic pipe. So that's it. I'm going to let you guys go. I'll check back in. Hey, thanks for hanging out. Again, thanks for all the comments and thumbs up and subscriptions. I appreciate it.